Okay, so for anyone who's watching, I'm starting the stream about 3 minutes early to troubleshoot any tech problems that there are. So if you can hear me, I don't know, just let me know. Make sure that that's working out okay. It's just easier than spending the next 30 minutes on sound or whatever. I tried to get this as prepared as I could beforehand, but hopefully, yeah. All right, that's good. Um, how's the quality? I know the quality is going to be a little bit, but that's also because I have a pretty big resolution thing. Alright, that's good. Alright. If there's no like annoying background noise, I managed to fix my fan situation a little bit. Alright. In that case, I guess I'll just go ahead and get started, but it's only about 2 minutes early. Let me just delete that. So anyway, yeah, hopefully this is going to go okay. No one should be using too much of the internet right now. It's a weekend, no one's got online classes or anything else. I forgot what color I chose for the line art on this. There it is. It's 5 pixel. Okay, how's everyone doing? I guess I don't know how to stream. I don't know what I'm supposed to do. I do the artwork. I can do the artwork. I don't know how to do the people part. I'm really bad at that. People make things complicated. So yeah, it's going to be a lot of sort of awkward pausing and such like. Right, so yeah, the process. I guess that's a pretty good idea. So what this is I'm doing the line art process right now. What that is this is a pretty big file, but you can see I'm like halfway through lining everything in, like a watercolor. Let's see. Yeah, and I will, at that point, start doing my watercolor style. I'll show you guys an example of what that kind of looks like. Let me see if I can find one. It's my commission folder. There's nothing in here that's like under non-disclosure. But eventually, when it decides to open, we're going to do the coloring process. And this is like 4 layers of just a multiply brush, and that's why it looks like watercolor. I don't know if we'll get to that tonight. It sort of depends on how much else there is to do. It shouldn't be too terribly bad, though. And if not, you get to watch me do this for line art stuff for the next, I don't know how long we'll do this. Depends on how bored people get, I suppose. Also, I hop around on these drawings quite a bit, so you'll notice like there's some parts that are done that they're just sort of all over the place, like all over the place. But that's just how I end up doing these things. How did this go? I might need to move some stuff around. Yeah, I need to open a file. Hold on. It's in my references. This happens a lot. Yeah, this is the file that I was using to reference off of. Let's see. Okay, so I got that a little bit wrong when I was doing the sketch. It comes up the hat. Actually, you know what? I'm just going to copy and paste this. So let me just decapitate Brandon here so that I can do this a little bit easier. Where did that go? All the way up there. It's really tiny. See, this is how big this file is. It's a A5 or A2. So it's quite large. And I do this a lot, so you'll see it. Alright, I'll let you know if I need anything else. I think we're good for now. on that. But these hats are always kind of a challenge because we don't really have anything equivalent to them. Maybe the closest approximation would be like a pirate hat or something. But as someone who mostly does 20th century stuff, it's a little bit less common. And normally I wouldn't be doing this much editing on this without the sketch layer, but let me do a little bit on the sketch here, because I don't know. So this is the sketch layer. I'm just going to work on this for a few minutes. So I moved some stuff around. Is anyone else from the 54th going to stop by, or is anyone else from the 54th or 10th here? Just out of curiosity. So that you can laugh at how I've drawn you into anime characters, into animu. Alright, there we go. Hey John, how's it going? Sorry, which one were you? I'm not very good with names either, you'll notice that. I have everyone marked down here so I know where everyone is. Okay, so there you are, down in the front here. I haven't started inking him yet. There he is. Very animu. Yes, the Brandon F. anime is in production, which I know he's extremely excited about because anime is his favorite genre of entertainment. He's told me himself. Let's see. So yeah, that's where everybody is. I have to have that because I have horrible short-term memory, which is great for someone who studies history. I don't remember anything from like 5 seconds to the next. Let's see. And then he had a little puffball. I don't know what these are called, by the way. I just have been calling them little puffballs. I'm sure that's not what they're called, but I kind of like calling them that. Yeah, I don't know what these things are called, but there's a bunch of them in this painting, so let's see. How did that go? Pom-poms, yeah. Little pom-poms. Yeah, I don't know what they're called in history. I mean, the closest probably correct term I can think of is like, yeah, tassel. Yeah, I was gonna say tassel, like something you'd put like on a graduation cap or something. I might come back to that later and look at it because that sort of looks incorrect. But I'll come back to that in a little bit probably and figure it out. Hat balls? Yeah, that's pretty good. Let's see, and what? Okay, so this had a fastener here. Yeah, God save the king. Let's see. Okay, I need to do something with the shoulder strap. Also, you'll notice, and this is something I've noticed too, whenever I have a reference, my stuff gets significantly less animu, which is usually appreciated by people who don't want to be turned into a living, walking, talking Netflix anime. But, you know, it is the I don't know, what is Brandon's anime opening, guys? He's here in chat. Let's just embarrass him and make it worse. 10 times worse. If this isn't already bad enough, let's just make it 10 times worse. Okay, flat fingers on the stalk. Okay. Oh, okay. Okay. I might need to look that up because I'm really bad at visual, especially when it comes to guns. I have such a hard time visualizing what that kind of a hold looks like. You actually may have a picture of it that I may not have to, go onto the Google machine to find. Actually, I'll just go back to that one picture that you had of yourself doing it. Not that one, the other one. Let's see. No, I had another one of these. This one. Let's see. Spotify is asking if I want to listen to an ad. Hold on. Yeah, go ahead and send a picture. I'm horrible at visualizing with guns. I have tried multiple times. It's kind of one of those things. Like, for instance, I couldn't draw Mosins for, like, years. Literal years until I got one and realized, oh, that's where the thing goes. It's sort of embarrassing. Because all my Russian friends were like, why can't you draw guns? I'm like, because I don't have guns. Yeah, there's no flintlock in that picture. Let's see. Yeah, the lack of the flintlock is pretty problematic. It's okay. Okay. Alright. Got the picture, so let's do... Okay. Trying to get my brain to work. Oh, okay, I see. Alright, I think I got it. I think I figured it out, guys. I understand now. Yeah, I had a minute there where it was like... So, more like that. Move it up a pinch. Okay. More like that. Okay. Yeah, sometimes it takes me a minute to, like, revisualize in my brain where things go, but I think I got it. Also needs to be a little smaller, but yeah, that looks correct. I don't know. I'm gonna have to see about. I don't know how flintlocks are supposed to look when they're in the firing position either. So, because I know, like with revolvers, once you've cocked the hammer and you've fired, the hammer goes back to the old position. So that's easy enough for me, but I don't know how that works with flintlocks. Okay, yeah. So I know there's like a piece that sticks up, and then there's like a little Dumaflichi that that kind of curves back. Okay, okay. Yeah, I might go back and re-edit some of how the flintlocks look because they don't exactly look correct. But yes, that it goes forward. Maybe this is a little bit more. Hold on, wrong layer. Where? Which layers? Which layer am I working with? Oh, it's because I have something selected. Okay. Okay, yeah, that's super. Okay, that's much more helpful. All right, good. I might put off doing the guns for a few minutes and just do that in a. It's kind of one of those things that I put it off, and then when I have my brain is ready to confront what that is, then I'll do it. What is this layer? Why do I have this layer? I don't understand why that layer is there. Okay. So I'm going to go and work on some of the other stuff real quick. Probably more of the stuff in the foreground real quick. Yeah, I kind of left the anatomy of the muskets until last, and now I'm realizing that I have to address them, and it's not a comfortable feeling at all. Yeah, these layers, yeah, I should probably label them like, the real MLG artists do, but I don't. And I don't use them that much. Like when I'm doing the painting, I really only paint on one layer, and so I'm coming at this from a much more traditional watercolor kind of perspective. So having to navigate all these layers, and God forbid I'm not doing masks or anything else weird. Clipping masks? Yeah, no. We don't do that here. We don't do that here, boys. We don't do those clipping masks here, brother. That's not that's not how we work. That's a little bit too big, but that's fine. I'll just make it smaller in the final. I really should be zoomed in more, but it's really difficult to zoom in on this where we are now. That's not correct. And this cockade thing, which I'm not entirely sure where that connects to. I think it. Okay. Again, I'm not. You see it. Let's see. Oh no, I'm using a tablet. Sorry, it's a. You probably can't really tell. No, I'm not doing it with a mouse. Hell no. I did that. I already went through that song and dance when I was like 12. No, it's a tablet. It's a HDMI hooked up kind of a extra screen. So you know how you can hook up like an extra screen for your monitor. or whatever. It's kind of like that, except it's a touch screen. It's like an iPad Touch, but not as nice. And you can't do other stuff on it. All it can do is this, frankly. Which I used to be one of those naysayers. I was like, oh yeah, you know, iPad and Windows tablets trying to get in on the graphics market. That's so dumb. Like, I know what I need in my life. I know my brands. I know my Wacom stuff. And then I realized, oh wait, they actually work pretty well. There's some really good artwork that people make on iPads and stuff. And I kind of wish I got into that before I spent money on this. This wasn't expensive. It was, well, expensive, relatively speaking. I think I got it on Prime Day from Amazon for like $200, which for what these are, that's not bad. The standard going is, I think, $350 for a Cintiq Wacom, which is the market standard. Going, Katie. I'm doing artwork and for the views. No, I don't have any views. I don't even have a monetized channel. I don't even know what I'm doing. Yeah, I might need to... How do those cockades work again? Okay, hold on. I need to pull up the other thing. Oh my goodness, stop. Alright, cockades. How do those work? Okay, it looks like they're further up and that they tie... Okay. Okay, so they're farther up and they tie... Okay. Yeah. Yeah, that's the funny thing. I don't actually get Trump bucks. It's, well, I think I do, but I don't. Right now I'm unemployed, and what money I do make is doing freelance stuff like this, but it is not enough to be taxed. So I file as a dependent under my mother. So I don't get Trump bucks, unfortunately. I get, I think it comes in her check, like I get a small amount for being a dependent. It's like half of that, or something. I don't know. I'll have to ask the CPA. I have no idea. Trump bucks. I don't know. I just bought a revolver recently, so that's probably a good use of my Trump bucks anyway. If I was getting Trump bucks, so I should probably not get anything else, frankly. It's for reenacting. It's not blank firing, but it's a really crappy revolver. It's a Nagant 1995 deal, and it is by far one of the worst handguns I've ever fired in my entire life. It's not even the firing that's the problem. It's that it is just it's a whole situation and a half regarding everything else about it, with the reloading and the double action and just everything. So that is what I spent what would have been my Trump bucks on, but so it's really just a loss. But you know, it's important because I need it for the impression that I'm doing. But yeah, what is everyone else spending their Trump bucks on? If you get Trump bucks, unlike me, I don't get them. But if you are getting part of that stimulus package, what are you going to use it on? Or are you going to be smart and save it or use it to supplement your income like it's supposed to be used for? You know, supplement the loss of income that you're experiencing because of this national crisis. I took took one look at that bill and I was like, no one is going to use this for its intended purpose. Everyone is going to like use this all in one go, and they're going to buy like something stupid like a jet ski or what's something else you can buy for $1,200. Like a gaming laptop or the gaming rig for your computer. They'll find something dumb to buy it on. Maybe they'll go and buy Tiger so they could be the next Joe Exotic or whatever from that Netflix series. I don't know how much a tiger costs, but I'm pretty sure it's probably more than $1,200. Probably more to feed it than that, but I don't know. It's not. I don't pride myself in dealing in tigers and stuff. Let's see. Sorry about that, guys. My internet had a minute there. Or my chat had a minute there. It's probably due to my internet. Yeah, your own eyeball. Yeah, your own anime version of your eye. Yeah, sorry about my chat having a minute there, guys. I probably should have checked it. I can never tell how many people are realistically going to be actually watching or commenting on any of these things because I'm not used to it. But, so it's a good thing I checked, and thanks for letting me know about that. Yeah, I'm waiting for pretty much every single market. I don't know. I'm waiting for the used gun market to go crazy, which I don't. I'm kind of a FUD when it comes to guns. I don't really buy modern guns very much. My politics aside, I buy like stuff from 1945 and stuff. Like ATF's gonna come into my house and they're gonna laugh and the guy at the top of the stack is gonna be like, I'm sorry, we'll give you like 5 first shots if you want because you know. But yeah, I mostly just buy like World War II stuff, and it is live firing, but it is not like top of the line stuff. Yeah, plastic guns don't really count. Like my friend wanted me to get a Glock. I'm like, do you mean like a dog chew toy? Because like those things are. I want a carry gun, but I don't want like a trash carry gun that's gonna like break. I don't want something that's more fragile than my smartphone. Let me just put it that way. But yeah, the Nagant's a lot of fun. I cannot find the correct bullets for it. It takes 7.62 by 38 rimmed. It is a rimfire revolver, and the problem is literally no one I find around here has it, and I refuse to buy it online and get it shipped here for $50. So I just went and got like 32 cal or 32 Smith and Wesson long, and it works. But the thing is that it doesn't. It's not like an authentic. I wouldn't be able to take it to a reenactment. They'd probably dock me for authenticity because the thing smokes. Nagants are smokeless revolvers because of a gas seal that they have. They have a when you pull the action, or sorry, when you pull the trigger for the action, it pulls this firing cone forward, or pulls the cylinder into the firing cone forward, and it basically creates a seal, so there's no smoke that comes out the cylinder. You do that with the standard round, it works fine because the rounds are very long and they actually plug up the cylinder all the way. But you can't really do that with 32 Smith & Wesson because Smith & Wessons are babies and they're not long enough to actually fit that length. So it'll still smoke. So it won't look correct. Although Smith & Wesson is cheaper than the standard caliber. So also, don't try this at home. By the way, don't be like, well, Marina told me to fire 32 Smith and Wesson out of this revolver. It should be fine. I'm like, maybe ask someone who knows what they're doing before you do something like that. It's a Russian gun. It's not going to care usually, but the thing is that your cartridges will split, and if you don't hold the gun correctly, it will not fire. It's not going to explode, or it shouldn't. I've never heard of anyone dying from, getting their hand blown off or whatever from firing that caliber from it. Don't fire .327 out of it. It will explode, is what I've been told. Just be careful. Don't, with older guns like this, if it was not a Russian gun, I would not be doing this. Let me just put it that way. Those guns, I'm pretty sure you could fire rusty nails out of it. Yeah, maybe don't. Yeah, don't try it at home. Don't be an idiot like me. Let's see. How does this collar work? But in terms of blank fire, I'm pretty sure, I was about to say, like, if I go to a reenactment and start firing real Smith & Wessons, they're going to get me for more than the authenticity problems. There's going to be more problems than just authenticity. But, yeah, if I'm firing blanks out of it that are not the correct caliber, and it smokes, that's going to be a problem. Yeah, no, I'm not going to be firing actual ammunition out of the thing in a reenactment. That's a bad idea. Let's see. Also, you might have some lag on my end. My internet just took a frame rate dip. So, that's always fun. This should come. Okay, this in the cartridge pouch. Cartridge thing. It's a really weird gun, but I love it. It's my baby. I call it my rootin' tootin' Vladimir Putin because it makes me feel like a Russian cowboy. Yeah, don't tell Putin that. Yeah, actually, I don't know. He was former KGB. He's probably like, if you find pictures of him in his like full operator stuff, he probably kind of looked like a Russian cowboy or whatever that is. Also, I'm not scared of Putin. I'm probably on like 5 of his watch list right now. I don't even care. Even if I go over there, I'm just like, oh, it's my time to go. It's my time to go. I'm supposed to go over there and study war memory in Volgograd or something under Fulbright, applying to. And I'm afraid they're just going to show, like, the FSB is going to show up at the airport. They're going to be like, are you buddy? No. And I'm like, yes, you must come with us. We have much to talk about. Like, okay. I mean, they already arrested another dude. Like, they arrested another historian over there. I kind of don't want to do history over there. Understandably, like, I have trust issues with a government that arrests historians for what they do and, censors their media. You'll have to excuse me if, I have some issues with that regarding, the historical process. Oh, yeah, it's not going to get published over there. It's getting published through, I think Fulbright actually is in charge of having to publish that. But if it's not published through Fulbright, it's getting through some university press or whatever around here. The ones that overcharge for the books? Like, Oxford University Press or Cambridge University Press or whatever they're called. Those ones that overcharge. These publish PhD stuff. I've never met Colton. I believe you, but I was going off of what he had sent me of him. But I guess it does look a lot like him. I'm looking at a picture and I'm looking at him. That does look pretty good. And I'm pretty cagey about saying that kind of thing to myself because I'm kind of a perfectionist. Oh, no, I'm not using my tablet anymore, computer. I'm using my mouse. Yeah, the only problem about this tablet is that sometimes when I switch between using a tablet and the mouse, it doesn't understand that I'm changing input devices. So when I use my mouse, it still thinks I'm using my tablet, and it'll start trying to input the tablet commands. And that's never fun. Oh, and he has a pom-pom too. There we go. Everyone gets puffballs or fluffy rabbit tails. I think he does, right? Actually, no, that one does not. That one does not have one. No, I'm trying to control Z. What are you doing, computer? There we go. That one does not have a puffball. This one has a puffball. I was like, I knew why I didn't draw that in the sketch. And then the cockade, which needs to be up higher than where I drew it again. I lost my chat again. Pom-pom. Yeah. I'm sure there's some kind of standard for how the pom-poms work. That's yeah, it seems like I drew one in the sketch. That's really weird. Usually I don't do that kind of stuff, but no pom-poms. Oh, there are a lot of pom-poms. Just a little bit there. Okay. So what is everyone else doing in their quarantine right now? I did have to go out and pick up some groceries today, but I don't plan on going back out for the next 5 days or so. I love my town's list of essential businesses, by the way. Of course, you've got doctors, drugstores, walk-in clinics, whatever. Any kind of place that serves groceries or food. Those places are still open. That's not a problem. I was kind of laughing a little bit at the whole, so liquor stores are open, and I know why they're open, because they don't want people withdrawing or whatever on alcohol. And gun stores are open. So we have, on the one hand, hospitals, doctors, grocery stores, pharmacies. On the other hand, we've got gun stores and liquor stores. And florists, apparently. Script writing. Yeah. I'm not the best when it comes to writing scripts. I tend to do better talking off the cuff, but when it comes to material that counts, yeah, fast food, liquor, guns, we're ready to go. This is America, everybody. This is the land of the home, or land of the free, home of the brave, right here. I don't know why the golf course is open. That's kind of weird. Yeah, I've been trying to paint. I have a bunch of these commissions due, so this is like one of six others. No, yeah, one of six other commissions that I have. The other ones are, I do this first come, first serve, so they're kind of, this is at the end of the tube of toothpaste, this thing has to come out first, and the other ones come out, it's going to happen. So that's sort of how I operate, because a lot of people, time does kind of matter. People try to get in and get their stuff put in with me in enough time so that they can get it, in a certain time frame. And so I try to respect that, and I do try to operate first come, first serve. But then there's also the instance of this piece versus, just a standard portrait. I do have a few standard portraits that I'm probably going to try to knock out in the next couple days, just because I can do those in like less than 3 hours probably. Alright, so let me see. So this comes down, this fastens These regimental coats are so... I'm having a minute here. I'm having to go back and figure out some stuff. Let's see. So I think I'm just going to avoid the problem altogether and just put one of the crossbands here and pretend that that doesn't exist. This should go all the way over, yeah. Stuff Marina should have done in her sketching phase. Yay. Yeah, no, I end up having to redact a lot when I'm doing line art. Sometimes I'll realize, oh wait, that doesn't actually look correct in the sketch. So I'll have to go and redact it when I'm doing the line art. That's pretty much par for the course. Okay, I'm pretty sure, yeah, it comes, yeah, these coats are a thing that I am not used to drawing, if it is not already extremely obvious if that is the case. That should come down there. That goes there. And the facings. Okay. Alright. I think Colton's done. Actually, I think Colton's the only one I've completed in terms of the line art of anybody, so that's good. Let's finish up doing John. I don't think I have much more work to do on John. So, let's see. This needs to move up a little bit. That's better. Okay, so let me see. These straps should go... This is the hardest part for me, by the way, is figuring out which direction the straps go. I think that this one should overlap this one. If I'm wrong, let me know. This is from the back, so yeah, it's really hard. Yeah, and we were going to leave the muskets till later. All right, I guess I'll just continue working on Brandon over here. Whoops. see. How many people? Hold on. Let me double check something here on the stream. Okay, just wanted to make sure of something. Yeah, I don't know why we were having issues with it before, but it seems to be fine now. I just didn't know if it was on my end or that end. Okay. Okay. Straps can go either way. That's good. So, I'm trying to think of interesting stuff to talk about. This is from my introverted playbook. I have to come up with things that could carry a conversation. Or I know you guys could just watch, and that's cool too. I appreciate, but I always worry that I'm not an interesting enough person to sustain a room on my own. So, let's see. What's everyone's preferred era of history to study? I don't know. That's a pretty generic one. Anyway, what history does everyone find the most interesting? I am not 18th century. I am not 18th century Britain, as it is not already painfully obvious from how I'm drawing these things. It interests me, but I'm just total idiot when it comes to it. I do 20th century Russia, or Soviet Union, whatever you want to call it, however floats your goat. That's not correct. Yeah, it's an interesting field of study. A lot of misconceptions, but it's an interesting one. It's just extremely narrow, though. I do specifically Stalingrad, and I do specifically. Well, I study the Red Army, but I also study the NKVD and its social history, so I don't really have too much on the military history or the material history, frankly. So I mostly study memory, war memory. So veteran interviews, movies, books, whatever written on the topic, I address those. And I do know Russian. I hadn't advertised this stream to my Russian friends. Also, it's like 3 in the morning over there, and I was kind of afraid to because a lot of them don't really know English, and I'd be obligated to get on here and start speaking in Russian. And when I speak in Russian, it is a complete train wreck. Okay, Impressionism and Rococo. I studied Rococo a little bit, but mostly in the context of how it affected the French Revolution and like neoclassical art, which came later. So like the Jacques Louis David stuff, and that stuff was pretty cool. Has a lot of parallels to the Russian Revolution, anyway. The stuff that got me into the history of the Soviet Union or the Russia in general, I guess. Let me double check something here. I guess it would be bad movies from the Soviet Union and also America on the topic. So the reason I like studying the war memories and the media is because that's kind of what got me into it in the first place, shamelessly. So yeah, stuff like Enemy at the Gates and stuff. I mean, it's a complete dumpster fire of a movie, but it did get me into this, and I had to do a lot of backtracking, like, to figure out how things kind of were during that time period. You know, and ironically, the material history in Enemy at the Gates is not even really that bad. It's, you know, I think that's kind of what got me there, is because, yeah, the uniforms looked really cool, and the weapons looked really cool, and this camera and the cinematography, all that flashy stuff looked good, and yeah, the material history was not bad. Like, they got a lot of the stuff correct, like the subdued collar tabs. I don't know why they were wearing greatcoats in the middle of, like, September, but, and August, but, I mean, that's, I guess they had to make it look Russian, so it was like, all right, we have these shinili, let's just put them in that. And so, probably because they had them, they're really cheap for movie prop makers. I found this out the hard way. You can get a Brezhnev era Chanel, which are greatcoats, by the way. I'll start calling them greatcoats for you guys. They're like $50 tops, and this is like a full wool greatcoat, you know, with the buttons and the pockets and everything. So you can get them for very cheap. They don't make the best for reenacting because the liner is the wrong color, and you have to do a lot of modification to the collar and the other stuff, the length. The color is not exactly correct. There's a little bit of a problem with the way, you know, the stitching goes on the collar, but they are really cheap, and from a distance it doesn't really matter. So you can kind of, you know, BS your way into using those greatcoats. And so I assume that's why they gave them to them, is because they are cheap as dirt. I have one. That tells you how cheap they are. I am the Farb Queen, and if I have one, that means it's cheap. But yeah, World War II Russia is an interesting situation. I think the thing that interests me the most is that how distorted it's become, especially in the West, due to Cold War. Just the memory of it's really bad, frankly. I watched that movie and I'm like, did you guys actually consult a single Russian person when you made this movie at all? Like, did you ask them how they remembered the war? And I'm not going to sit here and say the Russians know their own history very well, because I have met some very stupid Russians when it comes to their own history and their own country's national history. So that's not even an excuse, but oh my God, all you had to do was literally ask one Russian person their opinion on the Great Patriotic War, and that movie probably would not have been made the way it was, like, honestly. The director was French, based on a British, you know, account of what happened. I mean, it was just a whole situation mess kind of thing. But that's what got me into the Soviet Union stuff. And once I kind of learned more, I ended up being one of those people who actually was more interested in the real history as opposed to whatever they were doing in the movies. So that's good. It wasn't like one of those things where you get into it, you realize you're wrong, you learn more about it, and you're just out of luck because nothing you thought about it that was cool before is cool now. But it's not so bad. Let's see, how does this facing go? There's the bump on the musket. Yeah, I'm the Farb Queen. I want to make a parody of ABBA's Dancing Queen, but instead of Dancing Queen, I want it to be the Farb Queen. And that's probably going to be the next thing I write. Yeah, I have to include my $6 thrift store boots and my you know, $50 Brezhnev era Chanel and all that other fun stuff. I mean, let's face it, we're all a little bit farb deep down. Like, we can try to be as accurate as humanly possible, but deep, deep down, we're all just a bunch of, like, LARPers pretending that we're part of some historical moment that we never experienced in our lives. So, why not just own it? Just own it. Own the fact that this is all completely inauthentic, and that we're doing the best that we can, but no one's really there. Let's see, how long has this been going? We might have a problem. Okay, so there's some buffering issues right now, apparently. Let's see, how long has this been going for? Uh, okay. Yeah, we're having a few issues. Let me see. Okay. Now, the internet strength's fine. It's the bandwidth. It is 500% the bandwidth. Sorry, guys. Sort of part of the nature of the beast. It's back to normal now. Let's refresh the chat real quick. Let's see, this has been going for about an hour. I'll probably cut it at about an hour and a half, so once it hits the 90-minute mark, I'll probably go ahead and stop. Just because I can't really imagine anyone caring enough to watch it that long. Oh, man. Plus, and also I need to go and figure out the gun situation kind of on my own. It's a little bit hard to explain. It's kind of one of those things that I can't do terribly well while talking. It's not even because I'm embarrassed, just because my brain is trying to do like too many things at a time. And so I need to like triangulate how this is supposed to look. How much time do I spend on an art piece? That honestly greatly depends on, number one, the size of the piece, and also the complexity mostly. So this has been going on for a couple weeks, frankly. Normally, on a single portrait like the one I showed you guys before, that usually like takes less than 3 hours. I can probably bang one of those out in less than 3 hours. It really largely depends on how much stuff and how many people there are. I will say that on average, I'll spend maybe an hour per individual in a piece, depending on things. So I don't know if that helps you guys understand any better or not. Fingers, man, fingers. Yeah, and I can't focus on drawing and talking very well either. So that's kind of. I mean, I wanted to share it, and I still do because we're all sort of in the same boat right now, and if I can contribute something to society, I absolutely will. But the thing is that when you draw, it uses different parts of your brain. I don't want to be the person to say it's left-right brain thing, because it's really not. It's something more complicated than that. But it uses a part of your brain that is not associated with language. And so when you're sitting here trying to parse out a sentence while you're drawing, it just absolutely falls apart. That is 100% what happens to me. I also lose track of time, which is why I checked the clock. I was like, I better make sure that this isn't running over into like 3 hours or something ridiculous. I don't want anyone to feel obligated to stay either, so like. Yeah, people tell me I'm a really articulate person. I don't know where they get that from about that they say that I'm very good at explaining things in the middle of doing things like this. I think it has something to do with like grace under pressure or something. The sheer social anxiety of the situation just pushes me to be able to handle it a lot better. It's like adrenaline or something. Since my body thinks that a social reaction is basically the same as being chased by a bear, uh, it handles what it needs to handle pretty well. Now, exposing your body to that kind of stress all the time, not so good. Like, you maybe don't want to, in life, your body's not equipped to, be dealing with facing down a bear every, waking minute, so it can create some problems in that regard. Is that long enough for a musket? Okay, hold on, it's not the correct shape. I have a hard time with lengths for these things because muskets are a lot longer than rifles, and I am much more used to, in terms of sizing and proportions, just my 9130 Mosin, or just anything like a K98, which are those Mauser K98s, car, whatever, the Nazi guns. Can I say that on stream? Am I gonna get? Is YouTube gonna? I mean, I'm not monetized already. It's not like they can do a whole lot, but I don't know. The other N word. It's the other N word, I guess. Yeah, YouTube is not really something I'm shooting to make it any kind of a sort of an income on. It would be cool, but I just don't see myself uploading stuff regularly enough for it. So I frankly don't care what I say on stream that much. I mean, so long as it doesn't legally incriminate me or something. Like I take the fifth, guys. I take the fifth. Am I being detained? I know my rights, but it's I don't care too much about that kind of thing. I wouldn't reenact the NKVD if I cared about that kind of thing, trust me. I have so many people ask about that. So are you a real communist because you do this? I'm like, no, I hate communism. That's why I do. The reason I do this is because I hate communism. Thank you. So yeah, all the people on the left think I'm or all the people on the left think I'm a crazy right winger because I have guns, and all the people on the right think that I'm a crazy liberal lib because I do Soviet. So I'm in this position where I just can't win between the guns and the whole Russian reenacting thing. Yeah. So I just sort of stopped caring what people think. Okay. Okay. Dropping frames again. That's good. Actually, the stream has behaved a lot better than I thought it would, all things considered. I thought it would be so much worse than this. I thought this would be like a constant thing, but it's actually weathering pretty well. Knock on wood, I say. What does Chris look like again? Hold on. I have not looked at Chris in a hot minute, and I cannot figure out. Shoot. No, I'm not using my tablet computer. Calm down. Calm down. Okay. It's not super. Like, this is a really tiny picture of him, so it's not super. I can't. There's only so much accuracy I can imbue, but I try to do the best I can to make it at least kind of look like the person. And it'd be like a Rembrandt or whatever, where he would do commissions for groups, and he would take, the same amount of money for everyone who wanted to be in the painting, and then he would do paintings where they all weren't showing themselves equally, and people would get mad at him. That was always fun. I kind of feel like I'm doing that here, but yeah. That basically looks like Chris from an extreme distance, considering he is very tiny in here. Even though this is a massive file, resolution-wise, he's still kind of small. And he has his bag thing. I don't know what this is. Okay, that looks like that goes. Okay, I see where that goes. Alright, we're at 74 minutes, so that looks good. Also, if anyone's there from the 54th, is it even possible to aim these things when you have the bayonets on the end of them? Because they look very, very cumbersome. I know that with my 9130, it is damn near impossible for me to aim with the bayonet on the end. I'm like leaning all the way back and I can't do it. It's meant to be, the sights are meant to be dialed in with the bayonet on. If you mess with that little slider on the Mosin, it's meant to be dialed in with the bayonet on. I can't aim it with the bayonet on, so I just don't. And in reenactments, you don't usually put the bayonets on because you can actually hurt somebody quite a bit with them if you're not paying attention. But is it possible to fire muskets with the bayonets even? To a certain degree? Because it just looks extremely heavy. Like, I couldn't do it. I'm a baby. I mean, I can't do a lot of things, so that's not really a good indicator, but I couldn't do it. It's just physics. Like they're so far on the end of a fulcrum, it becomes like it really wants to drag the thing down. It really wants to drag your whole weight down with it because it's so far out on the end. Like if you make a seesaw or something and you put something heavy way out on the end of it, that thing way out on the end of it's going to exert a lot more force on the fulcrum. Be it that's your arm in this case. It's going to exert a lot more force on the fulcrum than it would if it was closer to you. So I was looking at my bayonet for my Mosin, and I was like, this isn't so bad. It is a massive bayonet for a rifle. Like, you can tell it was made by the Russians. And it is like 20 inches long. It must weigh at least 4 or 5 pounds. And that thing is ridiculous for what it is. Have I been doing these bayonets correctly at all? Yes. Okay, they're on the... Okay. God, that's such a weird angle. I guess they're on the side. Yeah, so it's going to be kind of... Yeah, okay. All right, take care. Thanks for coming by. I'm glad that you like it so far. I might do another one in the coming week, but it sort of depends on my internet, how it goes. But I'll let you guys know if there's more. I don't know how much of a respectable process this is, because it's mostly just me making a lot of really dumb errors and control-Zing everything. But yeah, we're at 80 minutes, and I think, because I'm getting kind of hungry too, and I was going to make some clam chowder or something for myself. But yeah, I might stream. What I'll probably do is if I stream it again, I'll stream something other than this, so it can be like in color, so you guys see how I do the coloring process, which is a little bit more taxing on my computer, so I'll have to do a dry run of that actually. But yeah, for sure, I'll let you guys know if there's going to be any more. And but I think that that's probably going to be it because I'm getting kind of hungry. And I also had to turn my air conditioner off because it messes up the sound. So, and it's getting kind of hot in here, so I'm running the computer and like 5 other things. All right, so I'm going to head on, and I hope you guys enjoyed the stream, everyone else, and I will be sure to let you know if there's going to be any more. So, take care, everyone.